Nate, did you at least see what you wanted to see in terms of competitive pride from your team?
Yeah, I thought we came out and showed heart in this game. It was a very difficult game emotionally. Losing that last game and having to come back and try to beat the defending champions. Basically for us it was all about showing heart tonight, respecting the game, giving your best and leaving it out on the floor, and whatever the result at the end of the game, being able to live with that. I thought our guys tonight fought again. We fought our way back into the game. We take the lead with a few minutes to go on the clock and have a chance to win this game again. But you have to, as I tell our guys, you got to give credit to Cleveland. They made shots throughout this series when they needed to. They came up with stops when they needed to. Big rebounds. They made the plays to win the game, and that's what you have to do in order to win ball games.
Nate, Paul George has been kind of superhuman in the playoffs last year and now this year and really last month. Anyway, today he was mortal. Does it get to be a shock? Is it a shock almost that he was mortal? And or you got to be pleased that you guys gave it a run without him being Superman?
Well, you could just see that he had worn down. I'm looking at him during the game, and he's trying to give his all, and he's short on some shots. I thought there were some times when he may have rushed a few shots, but you could see that he was a little worn down from just really the last month of leading this team, and some of his shots were short. He really couldn't get past the defenders. They've been rotating guys on him throughout this series, starting with Smith. You bring in Shumpert, then you got LeBron leaning on him, and he had to guard those guys as well. So I thought he gave us what he had, and I thought he continued to try to play the game the right way. Even though tonight he did look a little fatigued. I think he's averaging close to 40 minutes in this series. Tonight plays 43. And, eventually that's going to catch up with you.
Nate, Lance clearly established himself as a leader on this team this evening, playing as well as he did coming off the bench. Your thoughts on what he was able to do for you?
Well, we get him late in the season, and he brings energy and a passion, and I think somewhat of a toughness, to the roster. Coming off the bench, he provided, the energy and just really the passion we've really been looking all season for, and I thought our guys responded to that, and trying to fit him into a rotation. We started off with him, coming in at the 2 position, and I just felt that at the point position, he could probably do a little bit more for us. And over the course of the games, bringing him in to back up Jeff, and then playing him with Jeff and Paul, that seemed to work out. But it was some good stuff. I like his passion. I like his fight. He brings, as I said, toughness, to the floor, and he tries to play the game the right way. He's a pass first guy or guard out there, and we're going to have to work with him on his defense. Committing more to that end of the floor, because he can, if he can come in and guard some 2s and some 3s, we know he's a good rebounder, and offensively what he is able to give you, he can really help us.
Nate, it's there's so many different ways you can view this series from a team standpoint. Yes, you get swept, but you could also look at how close the games were and the opportunities that were there. As the coach looking at this, do you feel like you were close to something, or is this team still quite a ways away from being where you would like it to be?
No, I think we are close. And, you know, as I told the team, I thought this season, you know, I really never go through the schedule and say, okay, we're going to be a 50-win team. But we're better than a 500 team. And I thought we played 500 basketball all season long. And, you know, really we want to learn a lesson from Cleveland in the sense that those guys are conditioned to play this time of the season and to play in those types of game where they're emotional and your minutes increase. You know, you go from 30 to maybe 35, you go from 35 to 40, and we have to condition ourselves throughout the season to build up to be able to play like that and not run out of gas. I thought our last two games we ran out of gas. You know, you look at Cleveland and you look at LeBron, and you know those shots that he has taken late. You know, he's knocking them down, and those rebounds, they're running them down. And you know, there were some shots where you know we didn't knock down our shots. We looked a little fatigued and a little gassed out there. So you build up to be able to perform at a high level during the season, and you know, so even though I thought you know we did some good things, we can and we will be better.
Nate, given the expectations and just sort of your guys' initial thoughts as the season began, what was, when you look at the entire year, not just this series, what was most disappointing for you in this group?
Most disappointing, you know, I thought consistency is something that you know we talked a lot about throughout the season. You know, where we were getting consistent, solid play, and you know where we would build off the good and improve and get better. We, as I mentioned, was a 500 ball club this season and really never got that consistency where we were playing, continuing to get better. You know, we would play a game, win a game, lose a game, win two, lose two. I thought this last stretch of the season and into the playoffs was the most consistent I've seen us, you know, far as playing both ends of the floor. So that's an area where, you know, we need to show improvement and show growth throughout the season.
Nate, as a coaching staff, what do you think that you guys could have done better this season, looking back now that the season's over? What could you have done better as a coach?
Well, we're going to take some, you know, we'll take a day or two. And I was just talking to my coaches about we're going to meet here in the next 48 hours to talk about all of that. You know, because we all can improve and we all will need to improve. And, you know, how can we improve what we started this season? You know, we've gone through this year with our group of guys, and you know, what do we need to get better? And that starts with myself, our coaching staff, our preparation, going into the draft. You know, what type of team are we going to build with our roster? So those are questions that we'll try and answer once, you know, we get together as coaches, and you know, then I sit down and talk with Kevin and Larry.
You mentioned before the game that it could be more that's lost than just this game. Have you taken a chance to think about what this means for the future of the franchise? Yeah,
I thought we showed hard tonight, and you know, I've seen teams that throw in the towel, and I didn't see that from our guys. I thought our guys responded. I thought Jeff responded out there, guarding Kyrie. It was tough offensively. I thought he was aggressive. I thought Miles responded with a better effort of being physical in the paint and, getting himself open and knocking down some shots. Paul continued to fight. Lance, went out and was aggressive, shooting the basketball. Thaddeus, all of our guys who got in there and played worked their behinds off. And, I didn't expect it to go the other way. I expected us to play with this type of effort and try to get a win and go back to Cleveland. But what I said about not respecting the game and just, coming here and playing with that mindset, let's get it over with. Your fan base, a lot of people would have lost respect. That team had to beat us tonight, and we didn't beat ourselves. They had to beat us, and they did.
Nate, you mentioned what type of team are you going to try to build here. Is there a sense that one of the great challenges, one of the great tasks of this offseason moving into next year is to establish an identity and to have the pieces in place that fit the identity that never really got going this year with trying to run and so on and so forth?
Yeah, well, we have some guys who are free agents, and so I'm sure myself and Larry and Kevin, all of us, will get together and talk about what we want to build for the future. And looking back on this season, what we need to add to the team to be able to compete and compete at a high level and get out of the first round.
Nate, I know you mentioned earlier this year that you talked to Larry quite often during the season. Just where do you expect the conversation to move after this season, now that it is officially over?
Right now, my plan is to talk with my team, and I'm sure when Larry's ready to talk to me, he will call me. But there's time for all of that. We will talk. We'll have exit meetings with the guys, and talk about what. Give our thoughts, hear their thoughts, and then I'm sure I will meet with those guys, and we'll talk about what we have available and direction for the future.
And just for the record, has Larry given you indication that you will be back next season, and that's the plan moving forward?
He hasn't said. I haven't. We just came out of this game. I do have a contract for next season, so.